kindergarten teacher here and first year teacher. I'm British by passport. I was born in a country called Rhodesia, which is now Zimbabwe, and due to my father I have travelled all over the world. So I bring to this class not just an English, it's a British society. So we do lots of things. We do things about Australia, we do things about America. We're not sort of very narrow-minded, and no, that's not in the curriculum. I like to sort of, the world is small nowadays, and we want to bring in lots of different things, and everybody has lots of different experiences. People come from different countries, people are born in different countries, and it makes us all understand the world a bit better than just sort of living in our narrow-minded. I studied when I had a very interesting education, and I did a sort of Montessori when I was little out in Africa, and I went through the English boarding school system. I ended up in a school called Finishing School, which is for British aristocrats, which there's only 2 left in the world. We still go to them, which is useful. I can clean silver, I can cook a dinner, I can do flowers.
Sit up a table?
I can sit up a table, I can do all that. I know how to curtsy correctly. It's not the most practical. Well, it is and it isn't the most practical thing, but I am, because of this, incredibly strict on table manners. So I make sure that I like children sitting down at the table properly, eating properly, and they're not
very good.
Yes, one big rule is table manners in my family. But you know, I know there's lots of questions about Montessori, but Montessori is very much at the beginning. But when you get to like the older people, like Dennis and people like that, if there is this particular flair that they're into, it is great to let them get into that, whether it's reading, whether it's mathematics and things. My qualifications, I'm qualified in the English educational system, so I'm qualified up to the age of 15 under the English system, and so I have that curriculum. Last year I was teaching equivalent of reception class in a Russian nursery school, and we did a bit of Russian and a bit of English system, and it worked very well. I have done 2 degrees in fine art, so I like doing lots of hands-on, lots of art things, lots of motor skills, because it's important at any age. And by the end of the year there'll be things from the ceiling, and there'll be things all over the wall, and lots of group projects, because I like to do group projects. So even if you've got a little child, they might do the little thing like the tail of a dragon, and some people do the feet, and some people do the head, and then we stick them all together and we end up with something big between us all. So that's what I want to sort of bring to this class. So don't worry if you're sort of thinking, oh, well, it's only Montessori, might be a bit babyish for my headache children or something like that. Maybe I want something a bit more academic. We'll be catering for that. I will be catering more of the individual approach. So if there's 2 or 3 which are really into a particular subject, we can, you know, push them through in their writing and their reading and everything else, so it will become a higher level. But I've now lived in Moscow. This is my 4th year in November. My partner is Russian, so I'm not leaving. I do actually understand quite a lot of Russian, but the children don't think I do.
We'll give this a try.
The children think I don't speak Russian at all, which is how I like to keep it in the classroom. I know some of you worry because I will only speak English in the classroom, but trust me, the children will learn to understand very easily. We get children to help each other children, so somebody else translates and things like this. The one thing that Montessori I brought into my last school was the fact that everybody learns to help each other, and you don't always need an adult. Sometimes 2 little children can work it out themselves, and they're very proud that they've managed to do whatever by themselves, and it gives them the independence, and that's sort of important in lots of lives together. The thing is with the English system is they have key stages. So by a certain age, they must be able to do
positive
things, and that's what I will be working to the key stage. I'm qualified to examining key stage, so we might even do the end of for the older children in November. We'll do the key stage exam, and then September, summer we will do the key stage exam. You know, some things you might feel might not be so Montessori as whatever, but you have to understand that when you're talking in a different language, verbal is so important. So sitting down in the car, which is a group all together, learning about things, talking about things, can take years sitting at a desk. But sitting in front of a map, interactive map, is so much more